Hi guys, this is going to be a tutorial on how to solve the Cube for You shape-shifting 3x3x5 that I've got here. This is a very fun puzzle to solve. If you haven't got one, then I highly recommend that you get one. Couple of things to go over. First of all, the strategy we're going to employ is, first of all, once it's scrambled and shape-shifted, it turns into basically a 3x3, so you solve it the same way as you do a Rubik Cube, and then you move on to solving it using cuboid algorithms once it's back in its cuboid shape. As far as scrambling goes, you need to make sure that you scramble it properly as a cuboid before you move into shape-shifting mode, because once you start shape-shifting it, these two layers and these two layers become bandaged together, so you can't actually separate those pieces. So you need to make sure those are all scrambled before you move on to doing kind of Rubik Cube 90-degree type turns on these sides here. So the tall sides only do 180-degree turns to begin with while we're scrambling it, and with these obviously you just do random turns. And so we'll get this scrambled up and get underway with the tutorial. As I said, to begin with, this is an excellent quality puzzle. If you don't own one of these, and I definitely recommend one. They're not very expensive, and yeah, they are a lot of fun to solve, and the quality of them is really good. They turn really well, so yeah, definitely look into getting one of these if you haven't got one already. Obviously, as always with the scramble it as well as you possibly can. You don't want to make things easy for yourself. Obviously, that's the fun of these puzzles, is making these things as challenging as you possibly can. Okay, I think that should just about do it for the cuboid scramble, and once we've done a couple more turns, we'll move on to the shape shifting. Obviously just doing it random, you can shape shift this in every direction, so yeah, just do random turns obviously. And yeah, that should just about do it, I think. Okay then, so yeah, as you can see, that looks like a unholy mess right now, so which is very cool. I really enjoy this puzzle, just simply because it looks as mad as that once it's scrambled. Alright then, so what I'm going to do is start off on the white face, just simply because that's always the face to start off on. On this you want to start on either the white or the yellow, so pick whichever one you want, or those you want. And I'm going to solve the white face. When I say solve, all I'm going to do is complete the white face. I'm not going to worry about what colours are around the edges, only the white face itself, because once you start doing the cuboid algorithms, you're going to scramble that up anyway while you're doing the other layers, so you don't need to worry about having it completely solved. You just need it to be all white on top, so that you can get it returned to the cuboid shape. So all I'm going to do is start off by making a white cross as you would on a Rubik Cube. And now that's complete, I'll fill in the corners again, just putting any corner in any position, not worrying which one goes where. Now obviously, if you don't know already, you do need to know how to solve a Rubik Cube to follow this tutorial. Hopefully you do already know that before entering this tutorial. You should also know how to solve the domino, the 3x3x2 domino, and probably even 3x3x4 cuboid before moving on to this. I'm not going to go into huge detail about the moves I'm doing for the 3x3 parts of the solve. As I said, you should already hopefully know how to do those anyway, and this video isn't long enough to teach you how to do both. Okay, so I've got the white face completed. I'm now going to move on to doing this center layer. Now you do actually solve this as completely with all the right colours in the right places, should I say, because those won't get scrambled up after you put them in position in any other part of the solve. So we'll start off with the green orange, put that one in there. You can use whatever algorithm you use to place these centre layer edges on the Rubik Cube, it really doesn't matter, as long as they're going into the correct position. That's all that we need. So let's get the orange blue in. And blue red, and lastly the red green, which is over there. And as you can see, I've now got the centre layer done, so that's the white layer and the centre layer. And then you just do the yellow layer just the same as you would using the beginner's method for the Rubik Cube. Again, you don't have to worry about permutation, which is what position the cubies are in. All you need to worry about is orientation, so get all the yellow pieces facing up basically. So we'll start off, we'll get the cross upright, and then get the corner pieces in. So that's a matter of using whatever OLL method you use, and there we go. Got the yellow face sorted, we've got the centre layer solved, and we've got the white layer solved, and as you can see it is now back in its cuboid form, and we'll continue from there solving it as we would any other cuboid. So as you do with any other cuboid, what you do is you start off from the centre layer, solving two layers as if they were a single domino, and work outwards. If you're doing it correctly, you've already got this centre layer solved. So what we do is we solve the two small layers on this, the two thin layers, as if they were a single domino, and then we'll do the outer layers. So first of all, we get the equivalent of our cross on this bottom of our two small layers. So we've got a red piece there, we need a blue there, so all you do, find a blue in your top layer. When I say top layer, obviously I mean the top layer of the two layers that we are solving at the moment. Anytime I say up during this portion, I mean that small layer there, and yeah, that will change as we move on to the next one after this, but as I said, we are solving these two thin layers, so anytime I say the up layer, I mean that upper thin layer. So yeah, that's the red. We've got a blue in the up layer there, so we turn it to the side where the blue face is and twist it 180 degrees to put it into position. Now, as with other larger cuboids, you need to have an idea of the concept of having a workspace, because as you can see now, I've put that blue one in position. This is scrambled slightly, this one side here. So the next time I turn this 180 degree turn to put another piece in, I need to make sure I do it on this same side that I've already scrambled, and obviously that will turn it back to its original position. So if you put the orange piece, we've already got an orange piece there, so we don't need another piece in there, and the next face will be the green, so we need a green piece in there. We've got one here in the top layer. Move it into our workspace, do the 180 degree turn, and line everything up on the bottom layer. So now we've got the blue there, orange there, green there, red there, and that's that bottom cross solved. So now we move on to doing the corner pieces on the bottom layer. This works exactly the same way as it does on any other cuboid. You use the same corner swapping algorithm from top to bottom as you would on any other cuboid. So we're going to start off with the green red here. We've got the green piece here, red piece there. What you need to do is make sure that the pieces on the piece you want to put in there, the colours on the piece you want to put in there are on the opposite faces. So on the green face we've got the red piece, and on the red face we've got the green sticker, and that's the way it needs to be around. If you've got the same colours on the faces, that will actually come into the bottom the wrong way around like this, so it's actually the wrong piece to go in there. So yeah, you place it above the place where it needs to go, and then you do this simple algorithm: R2, U, R2, U prime, R2, and simple as that. That's put that green red in there. Now that's created the workspace the same as we had earlier, so make sure you keep this on the right hand side, and then we find another colour to put in there. So turn it there, so that would be the green orange piece we need. Have we got one of those? Yes, we've got a green orange in the top layer, but it's actually the wrong one. It's the stickers are matching the same colours of the faces they're on, so that's the wrong one to go in, so we haven't got that on the top layer at the moment. The blue orange piece is already solved, and the blue red piece, so we'll go see if we can find a blue red piece which is there. As you can see, the colours for that are opposite of the face they're on, so red is on the blue, blue is on the red, which is correct. They're both, the position it needs to go in and the piece that's moving are both in my workspace on the right hand side, so I'd now perform the same algorithm again. R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. So line up the bottom layer where it goes, and as you can see, everything is done apart from this orange and green one now. That you should find that is now in the upper layer, and there it is. Again, opposite pieces on the faces. Don't have to worry about a workspace because everything's solved at the moment. And same algorithm again to put it into place. R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. And that's it, that's that bottom layer all solved. Now obviously we have created a workspace here, so make sure we're mindful of that. And we move on to the top layer. Now on the top layer we look for what we call headlights, which is two pieces, as you can see here, where you've got the same colours on the corner pieces on the same side. If you haven't got that, when you come to doing this top edge, then you just perform this corner swap algorithm that we're about to do next, and that will create a pair of headlights for you, and then you move on from there. So what you do, you put the headlights on the left hand side of the puzzle over here, because the algorithm we're about to do swaps these two corner pieces around. Make sure the two that you need to swap are in your workspace if you have one currently, and then perform this algorithm. It starts off exactly the same as the algorithm you've just done for putting a corner from the top layer to the bottom layer. So it's R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. You then do a U prime D. Remember that's on those thin layers that I'm doing those. And then you do R2, U prime, R2, U, R2. Line up your bottom layer so everything is in place, and as you can see all around the top layer all the corner pieces are now solved, and some of the edges are in as well. That's actually a little bit easy on the edge pieces. I'm just going to scramble those up a bit more than that so we can show you all the possible permutations. Okay, what I've done is just made this top layer a little bit more difficult. We're still in the same situation with the centre layer. We've got a workspace here. The bottom layer is all still solved. I've just made the centres on the top layer a little bit more difficult to solve than they were previously. What I always look for first, there's no particular reason for this, it's just the way I do it, is any pieces that can go to the opposite side. So as you can see here, orange needs to go onto the opposite face. So this is you have the piece that you want to swap facing you, and you perform this algorithm, the centre piece should I say, that you want to swap. So it's R2, U2, R2, U2, R2, U2, and as you can see that's put the orange in place, and I've actually messed up my own workspace there, so that's not a very good start, but I can fix that easy enough. All I'll do is solve the next piece in this workspace, then change back to the other workspace again. That was silly of me during the tutorial, but oh well. So now we need to swap the green piece to the opposite side as well, so we'll put that opposite it. Have our workspace on the right hand side, the one we want to get rid of first, and perform the same algorithm again to put the green on the back. So again it's R2, U2, R2, U2, R2, U2, and that's got rid of that jumbling that I did there. Go back to our original workspace now. So that's how you fix that if you ever make that mistake. And that leaves us with the green solved, the orange solved, and so we've just got the red and blue to solve here, making sure we've got our workspace on the right hand side, and the two pieces that they need to swap, these two edge pieces, one on the right hand side in the workspace and one facing you at the front, and perform this rather long algorithm, but I'll show you a way to break it down to make it a bit easier to memorise. So first of all it's R2, U, R2, U, R2, U2, R2, U2, R2, U, R2, U prime, R2, and as you can see they are now swapped. Now I'll teach you an easy way to memorise those. If you've done the domino cube before then you should already know this anyway, but just to try and help out with it. It starts off by doing R2U, R2U, so you do R2U twice, and then you do R2U2 twice, R2U2, and then you just do your normal algorithm for putting an upper corner piece into the lower layer, so it's R2U, R2U prime, R2, and as you can see what I've done is swap those pieces back to their original position. So one more time to solve them again, it's R2, U, R2, U, R2, U2, R2, U2, R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. Now, as always, all the algorithms for solving this will be in the description of the video, so please check there for them. And all we've got left to do now are the upper and lower faces. So moving on to the final layers, we do the same again. We start off by getting a cross. I'm going to do the yellow face here, so we've got the yellow green piece there. We'll line that up with the green face. This yellow red is wrong, so that needs to be replaced. So we'll find the yellow blue to start with to put that in position. Remember, once again, if you've got a workspace, then to do these edge swaps in the workspace so you don't mess up any other pieces. I haven't got one at the moment, so I'll just do it on the blue face, creating a workspace here. So blue is now on the bottom. We'll put the red face to the right, find the yellow red piece, which is already here on the right, and split that 180 degrees. So we've got the red, green and blue in. We just need the yellow and orange here to finish the cross off. So we'll rotate that round, 180 degree turn, and you can see we've now got our cross in place. So we then move on to doing the corner pieces exactly the same way as we did on the other layers. We'll start off with the yellow, blue and orange, since that's the top. Turn that into our workspace above the piece where it needs to go, and the usual algorithm: R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. And what other piece? We've got yellow, blue, red. We haven't got a workspace at the moment, so we don't need to worry about where it goes. So turn it above the position it goes into once again, and R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. Now take note that when I say U now, I am just meaning this top layer. We don't twist the small pieces anymore. We're only working on the upper layer and the lower layer. So that piece is in. We've now got a workspace, so keep that on the right hand side, and we'll move on to the yellow, green and red. Put it above the position where it needs to go, between green and red, and one more time: R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. Line everything up so we know where we are, and the last piece is yellow, green and orange. Put it above where we need to go: R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. And that's that bottom layer solved. Alright, so all we've got left to solve now is this upper layer. We've still got our workspace on our right hand side, so we look for headlights on the top layer. As you can see, we've got two oranges here facing us, so we do the same before. We put those on the left hand side opposite our workspace, and this algorithm will swap these two corner pieces on the right hand side, make sure they're in the workspace, and same algorithm as before: R2, U, R2, U prime, R2, U prime, D, R2, U prime, R2, U, R2. Line up the lower layer, and as you can see, we've now got all our corners solved around the upper edge. It's left us with a rather easy case on the top layer, so I'm just going to scramble that up a bit more once again to make it a more difficult example. Okay, so once again, I've just made the edges a little bit more difficult to see. You see all the cases. Still got a workspace here on the right hand side, so keep that on the right and look for any pieces that might need to go into the opposite face. I can see that the orange needs to go to the opposite side, so we'll do that first. Put our workspace on the right, put the orange edge piece on the front, and do the same algorithm as before: R2, U2, R2, U2, R2, U2. As it happens, don't need that last U2 there because it was already on its right position. And look for see if there's anything else. So obviously now the green can go to the back. I haven't got a workspace at the moment, so I can do it anywhere. So same algorithm again: R2, U2, R2, U2, R2, U2, and that puts our green face in, our green edge piece, sorry, and which leaves us with just these blue and red pieces remaining. So we just do an adjacent edge swap, place it over the top of where it needs to go. So you put the one piece on the workspace and the other piece on the front facing you. Once again, the longer algorithm: R2, U, R2, U, R2, U2, R2, U2, R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. And that's it, that's the puzzle solved. So yeah, as I said, that's the entire puzzle solved. Hopefully this video has been some help for you. If it is, then please click like and subscribe to see all my upcoming videos. There will be many more tutorials on the way. And yeah, hope to see you soon. Take care guys, bye.